Hello, I'm Bill Laberis. I'm the editorial director of the Enterprise CIO Forum, and I'm happy today to be joined by Dru Rai, who is the CIO of Williams Companies. Dru, thank you very much for being my guest here today.
Thanks, Bill.
We're going to be chatting a little bit about IT transformation and business transformation for that matter. Now, the term transformation, be it IT transformation or business transformation, can mean different things and does mean different things to different people. What does it mean to you?
Well, what it means at Williams is both. First of all, we're going through some major transformation in the industry and Williams, which I'll talk in a minute. And then we have to support the transformation because it's a very critical time. If you take a look at where we operate, we are a oil and gas kind of sector or energy sector company. But over the years, we have changed. We used to be a holding company. We used to buy companies, hold it. We were in telecommunication. We were in energy trading. We were in oil and gas exploration. We were in midstream and downstream. We have simplified our portfolio over the years. And right now, we are playing what we call a midstream and transportation play, which is all the way from the where you drill the a hole to get the natural gas, all the way to what we call city gate or to the power plant and everything in between. So we gather, we process, and we transport gas, natural gas liquids, and other heavier NGLs. So one of the things which we have done is we have gotten rid of all other industry or holding model and turned into an operating company. So that's the transformation going on. What exactly that means for IT? Well, it basically means is we are going to be an operating company where we're going to be more focused to the marketplace and our customers. Our customers like BP and Chevron, people who explore, or our customers could be residential, people who use gas through public utility corporations. And we want to be customer focused. So what we have done is we have reorganized ourselves by region because we are a very geographical play. If you go take a look at my IT is very different from a traditional back office, finance, accounting, HR. Most of my IT sits in operations, and that basically means when you gather those gas, run those pipelines, process those gas, and transport that gas, they're all measured by what we call EFMs. So that these are meters, and they run on systems. My team supports all those measurements, and these measurements turn into dollars for us when we send it, through the accounting part. We also have to provide these information to our customers, either by law, because we transport gas interstate, so we are governed by FERC, or in unregulated, where we have to provide the same information to Chevron or BP for customers. So turning IT from a back office function and infrastructure to measurement and SCADA and helping business go and in a basin and extract those gas and NGL and send it to a customer. That's what transformation means for IT.
If I can just ask you, along the way as you're transforming, essentially the function and the role of IT, specifically here at Williams, that has also meant transforming the way I suppose the IT staff thinks about what they do. Is that a difficult process? How do they react? How do they respond?
What we have done is basically unleash the folks in IT to work with the customers and customer operations. We are basically breaking the IT and saying that sit with the business and make sure we help our customers move our stuff. Make sure we are the best when it comes to transportation of gas. Just to give you an example, we have given Street our direction that we will be spending somewhere from $15 to $20 billion of CapEx in the next 4 to 5 years. And then that all translate into building pipelines, whether it's onshore or offshore or in between, and this requires a lot of construction expertise. If you go in some places, for us, you'll find no connection. There is no Verizon wireless connection. There is no MPLS circuit you can drive. So we have to erect towers, radio wave, so that those electronic meters I was talking about, I can gather those data and somehow bring to a place where I can connect to an MPLS and then bring it back to my control system so I can turn that into dollars. That's what, so it was very exciting to folks. They had now suddenly found a different expectation. You know, I asked my directors, do you understand the income statement of a business unit? And they looked at me and they said, well, nobody ever asked us to do that. Do you understand how we make money, how we lose money, what your cost is? What drives our revenue up? What drives our cost up or down? Do we understand that? That has been an exciting change. I would say that I'm still new here, and we have to, it's a very large IT organization. I mean, we have 400 plus headcount, then we have another 300-400 outside, you know, contractors. So turning that IT with that kind of expectation will take some time. So we are actually, we have a change management program going on. So I have a set of folks outside and inside team which is going through what I call change management program, laying out the vision, business vision, IT vision, which in our case is same. We always wanted same vision. But then turn that IT planning, strategizing process around those vision. That'll take time, a lot of education to people.
Yeah, it almost sounds as though those traditional IT things you're talking about, security, you know, uniform data and so forth, those are increasingly the table stakes. Those are the assumptions, but you very successfully, sounds like, moving IT and what you folks do and bolting it very closely to what the business is, the directions which the business is going, which the way you've laid it out is in a very different direction historically from what Williams had been to what it is going to in the next 2 or 3 years, 4 years.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I have put a very high expectation that people talk about the best IT practices. I said, well, I assume we're going to have a good PMO organization. I assume I'm going to have a ITIL-based service management. I'm going to assume. So those best practices I've already assumed. So we're not going to go spend time telling that the value of those things. That is already assumed. People better know that. We do all those things for what? We do all those things for customers. You know, everybody in IT needs to understand how do we make money and how our cost, you know, where do we spend our dollars. One of the key things in this transformation I have used is using the lean manufacturing principle and continuous improvement. So I'm bringing that not as a fad, not as a something which is you know, exotic, but putting that as a behavior and a culture. That when you look at your processes, and if it is an 11-step process, and 4 of those steps do not add value to our customers, we need to question that. Why do we do that? Oh, just because we have done in the past doesn't matter. It does not impact a customer. It doesn't add any value. We're not going to do it. Let's simplify. Simplification from process, system, people is very important to me personally, and that has been, I would say, a change, and a lot of people are excited that, you know, what they thought was we put together all these processes probably in a holding environment, because when you're a holding company you are not managing the customer operations directly, but you're managing some of the corporate practices to you know, cover your exposure and legal requirement and HR requirement more than others, and you leave the customer operations to the BUs.
Right.
We no longer have that. We don't even use the word BU. We are using operating areas. So our so-called BUs are actually operating areas, northeast, you know, which includes Shale and Utica. If you go to Gulf and Transco, which includes all the Gulf in the southern part, and Transco, which is interstate pipeline, which goes from Gulf all the way to New York City. West. So we have kind of organized ourselves geographically, and that also translates directly to our customers, because our customers tend to be tied to, you know, geography.